Divine Feminine, I have finally realized that my addiction has placed me in a brutal, untenable situation. I can't lie to myself anymore. The damage is undeniable, carved into every corner of my life like deep gashes on weather-worn stone. I am now facing the consequences of betraying your trust, and it is terrifying to watch karma catch up with me, step by relentless step. One by one, I am losing everything that once mattered to me: relationships, opportunities, even the sense of purpose that used to get me out of bed before dawn. Every time I look around, I notice something else slipping away, something else breaking down. A friend stops answering my calls. A project I depended on collapses. A fragile hope evaporates before it can take form. And it is all because of the choices I made. When I decided to betray you, I never thought it would lead to this. I assumed I could keep pushing forward, that I could continue living in the same reckless way without it ever catching up with me. I told myself that as long as I kept moving fast enough, the shadows would never manage to grasp my heels. I was wrong. The weight of my actions is hitting me harder than I imagined possible, and I can no longer escape the consequences. I understand that losing you was only the beginning. That loss was the spark, and the fire is now spreading through every room of my life, burning away illusions I thought were indestructible. I didn't realize it at the time, but my betrayal didn't just wound your heart, it poisoned mine as well, seeping into my bloodstream, infecting every decision that followed. And now I am paying for it in ways I could never have foreseen. Yet even as the debris settles, a strange clarity emerges from the smoke. For the first time, I can see the true magnitude of what I threw away when I betrayed you. You, who offered me gentleness when I came armed with excuses. You, who saw the fractured child beneath my hardened shell and chose to love him anyway. You, who held out a lantern to guide me through corridors I was too frightened to navigate alone. I told myself I was not worthy of such love, that I needed to numb my fear with distractions, so I ran toward anything that glittered, never realizing most glitter is merely polished glass, not gold. In losing you, I came face to face with that void, and it stared back like a mirror made of night. I see now that what I mistook for freedom was actually a cage with invisible bars. I rattled those bars by blaming the world, by blaming you, by blaming fate, but never once did I turn the key that was always hanging inside the lock: personal accountability. Instead, I layered lie upon lie until the structure buckled. Your absence has become a deafening silence in which every lie echoes back to me, louder and sharper than before. I stand here stripped to the bone, and the truth hurts precisely because it is true. I broke the covenant you placed in my trembling hands. I crushed delicate trust beneath the weight of instant gratification. I let fear masquerade as confidence and called it strength. And now the universe, with unwavering fairness, is teaching me the lesson I refused to learn willingly. Every action plants a seed, and I must reap the harvest regardless of whether I intended to cultivate roses or thorns. Divine Feminine, I write these words not to solicit sympathy, but to confess the entirety of my failure. I want you to know that I finally understand the difference between regret and remorse. Regret is the sick feeling that accompanies exposure. Remorse is the holy fire that drives transformation. In the cold hours before dawn, I have knelt on the splintered floorboards of my mistakes and asked Spirit to burn away everything that is false, no matter the pain. Spirit answered through lessons I could not ignore. These losses, though devastating, are also sacred teachers. For each possession that slips through my fingers, I gain a clearer view of the truth. Real wealth is measured in integrity, not in trophies. Each friendship that dissolves forces me to ask whether I ever showed up with genuine presence or merely occupied a role. Each empty victory reminds me that applause fades, but authenticity resonates beyond the last echo of clapping hands. My first step is confession. I was wrong. My second step is ownership. I alone wove this tangled net, and therefore I alone must unwind it. My third step is restitution. Where possible, I will make amends to those I have harmed. That includes you, divine feminine. I cannot ask you to trust me again. That privilege must be earned, if it is ever possible. But I can pledge to become the kind of man who deserves trust, whether or not I receive it. I will do this not because I expect a reward, but because living in truth has become the only way forward. I have begun attending meetings where people speak the language of raw truth, admitting powerlessness over addiction, surrendering to a higher power, supporting one another without judgment. I have found a counselor who will not let me hide behind clever words. I have started writing letters to every person I used as a stepping stone or a shield. Some letters will never be mailed, but the act of writing dissolves the toxic residue that clung to my spirit. Most importantly, I am learning to sit in silence without reaching for substances, scrolling screens, or hollow praise. In that silence, I meet the parts of myself I used to outrun. Divine Feminine, I do not ask you to return, nor do I beg you to watch my journey of recovery. You owe me nothing, but I want you to carry this knowledge like a small, steady candle. Your love was never wasted. It seeded a revolution inside me that only now finds room to bloom. Whether or not you ever witnessed the garden, know that the seed sprouted. Your compassion shattered my delusions more effectively than any punishment could. If I ever reclaim my life, it will be because you once believed in the part of me that was still capable of redemption. If these words reach you, let them be a testament, not a plea. I do not expect absolution, but I do hope for understanding. I see the full portrait of my wrongdoing, and I am committed to transforming shame into wisdom, pain into purpose. Should our paths cross again, may it be on ground where honesty is the only currency we trade. Until then, I will honor the sacred boundary your absence has drawn. I will continue the hard work of tearing down the old architecture of self-deception and constructing a home sturdy enough to shelter truth. As for me, I will stay on this path, not because it is easy, but because it is true. And in the quiet hours when old cravings whisper and fresh temptations beckon, I will remember that the cost of betrayal is not just external ruin, it is the fracturing of the soul. I choose wholeness now, whatever the price. I choose integrity, even in solitude. I choose to keep the promise I once broke, to love you by first learning how to love the man I have finally decided to become. May your path be blessed with gentle sunrises and radiant moons, and may both of us walk forward in truth, no matter how long the journey remains. I release these words in faith,